Good morning, Millennial Morticians. Happy Wednesday morning. Thank you so much for joining me for another incredible episode of this podcast. Today, we're going to be talking about something that has been a well-known secret in the funeral industry, but also something that has been very controversial over the years, and how people do it is it's really subjective to how you flow as a funeral service provider. The topic for today is entitled The Arrangement. Oftentimes when you think of the arrangement, you think of, an arranged marriage or something that's predetermined or preset. And as funeral directors, we got that word arrangement conference from the sense that we are helping someone arrange their final services, their funeral. And kind of like arrangements that sometimes happen, sometimes you might not be excited to necessarily be a part of the engagement. So hence the word an arrangement. So in arrangement conferences, you have a lot of different dynamics in the room. You have family members, direct, husband, wife, spouse, cousins, and sometimes more recently, close friends that want to be in the arrangement conference. Now, the arrangement conference is the most important part of what we do. Not only that, but it's a very sacred space. It's a safe space for families to come in and meet with you and talk to you about what they want to do with their loved ones. And so while you're there, you have to understand that first and foremost, people who are there with you, they're grieving, they're hurting, and they're not necessarily excited to see your face. A lot of people are very uncomfortable in funeral homes, no matter how nice and how modern you make your facility, people aren't excited to be there. And so you are the mediator for people to kind of have a balance in not only handling business, but also educating them in what it's going to take for them to honor and service their loved ones. And coincidingly, that also goes together with your display room. What kind of caskets you're offering? Are you digital or are you in person? Do you have caskets people can touch and feel? And that's been changing more to the digital side of things. People want something that's just seamless and easy. And I found recently that a lot of people, they really don't like being close to caskets that they don't have to be. They don't like touching them. They don't like getting close to them. And when you think of things about building your display room, you have to think about the possibility that, if God forbid the building catch on fire or something happens and you've had all that merchandise, thousands of dollars worth of merchandise in that casket selection room and it's burnt down. So you have to think, insurance covers things like that, but just things like that you have to think of. As with a digital one, you can change the prices very easily. It's easy to access. It's just nicer and cleaner to me personally. But there's nothing wrong with that personal touch. But a part of the arrangement conference that I want us to delve into specifically is the care of families. And the care of families means that I'm going to sell my clientele exactly what they need in that moment and nothing more. And I think for the past few years, we've been switching more to that model, selling people what they want, catering more to the people. And as any business should, that's our calling. That's what we should be doing. But in the past, we were more of a business that kind of sold people most of what they wanted and some of what we wanted. And you do yourself a disservice because your products are going to sell themselves. The people have already agreed to be and use your funeral home and use your services. So you have to be the one to make the decision and open yourself up enough to say, hey, the family's here, they're going to make their own decisions. I'm just here to facilitate that decision making process. And that's all we are now. We're facilitators of a funeral home that's an outreach. I've always heard people call their funeral homes a ministry. And the arrangement conference is the beginning of that beautiful ministry that orchestrates a complete funeral services. You find out not only what the family needs in an arrangement conference, but also what the body needs. You find out if the hair needs to be cut, if the makeup needs to be done. Is there a certain thing from that loved one that you want back? So the arrangement conference is a sacred place. And I believe that highly trained funeral directors, licensed people should be in that room at all times, because the conversations that happen in there are powerful, they're magical. And as often as we don't try to get involved in family disputes and family drama, we do try to help give everyone in that room comfort at the same time, knowing that they've made the right decision to choose you, but you're going to help them to the best of your ability. And we're living in a world now that help isn't really readily available. It's accessible. People can get to it. People know that that's out there, but people are they're scared to reach out and say, "Hey, I need some help." And so I always get excited. I always feel energetic when I get phone calls from people saying, "Hey, I need your help," or "Hey, I have a question about something going on in my funeral home," or "I'm a funeral director, but I don't really know this." As a community, we need to work together to make the arrangement conference not just a conference, but a meeting for the future, a plan. Because that's what you're setting. You're setting a plan for future generations. What if, that family comes in and instead of them buying one plot, they want to buy two for, their husband and their other spouse while they're there, or even themselves. And so as an arranger, you have an important job. You have an important calling over your life and over yourself when people are entrusting you at a funeral home to make arrangements. And not only that, from a business standpoint, the arrangement conference is where you get that first check. And in our business, that matters because we have to keep lights on, we have to keep water on. We have people that work for us that need payment so they can provide for their families and so on. Agent drivers, all those types of people, all those people who are interconnected to our business that are going to help us succeed. All of that is intertwined in your arrangement conference. So making that great first impression, asking people what they need, because that's what the business I signed up for as a millennial mortician. I signed up for a business that I was going to help people who had a need, and every single person that comes to me, they all need their own thing and their own unique way. And so don't limit yourself, don't limit your funeral directors to the possibilities that are at your hand or at your disposal, the tools you have. I encourage funeral homes today in the modern age to diversify your funeral directors, because it makes a difference. It makes a difference when people see somebody like them, somebody they can relate to, somebody that has their own story. I love going to the different funeral home websites and seeing some of you guys up there and hearing your story, hearing about how you got into the business, hearing about even how you found the firm that you work at now. So make people feel connected to your funeral directors. I think movies and TV have shown big people feel like we're not really, I don't want to say we're not human, but we're not normal people, in which we're not, because this is a special industry. But I want people to feel like they have more personal connection to me, and that I can relate to them, because I've lost loved ones just like they have, so I know what it feels like. And don't make the arrangement conference, because I feel like we do this a lot, subconsciously. Some of us don't make the arrangement conference about you. Make it about them. Make it about that family. I'm always asking the family questions. I'm always trying to dig out more from them, more information, more intel, more details. That's what creates a successful and striving business. One that's recession proof, honestly, is one that is fine tuned to the details of funeral service, the little bit stuff here, or maybe there's a piece of lint here on the casket. You're trying to take that off. As I know, as I do sometimes, I'm always messing with the casket spray and all those things like that, trying to make sure everything is absolutely perfect in the funeral service. And that's just a part of the arranger in me, the funeral director side of me. And I want us to be more comfortable in saying and being confident in the fact that we're an industry that's changing. We're funeral directors that's changing. We're getting new titles and we're getting new positions. We're expanding our funeral homes. I love seeing funeral homes that have their love animals, companion animals in the arrangement conference room. Anything that's going to help people heal and recover in the world that's changing so much. Make your arrangement conference the counseling session people need in their life. Make them feel like they weren't just in there to plan a funeral for grandma or granddad. Make it feel like they were in there for a bigger and better purpose. They were in there for something that was bigger than them, and they were able to be a part of it. And you made it feel like they could heal right there in that room. And I don't want people to leave my funeral home, my arrangement conference, or anything that I'm invested my time and myself in to leave the room feeling the exact same. I want you to leave feeling changed, impacted, and confident in the decision you made choosing our funeral home and working with me. because it's an honor for me to serve absolutely anybody. Remember, do not take your title or your position for granted. Take the job that you have with care, compassion, be understanding, be charismatic in what you do. I love this industry. I have a fire for this. I have a passion for this. Serve the people. Serve the people in the arrangement conference. By the time they leave, they should be like, wow, that felt like an out of body experience. I felt like it went so smoothly. It was so natural. That's how you want it to be. You want it to just be natural, like how me and you guys talk every week. It's just natural, and you guys are part of my family. You're part of my funeral family. We're family because we work in an industry together that's unlike any other thing in this world. And we're going to make it better, one step at a time, one funeral director at a time, one mortician at a time. I'm looking forward to October, guys. I'm getting excited. I know it's still kind of early in the year, but NFDA is going to be a game changer. I have so much exciting stuff planned for you guys there. Well, Millennial Morticians, I helped you think about the arrangement conference a little bit differently, and I hope you're going to open your eyes and open your ears to doing things just a tad bit differently. Make the conversation more personalized to the people you serve, and your community will feel a definite change. I'm Jaden Folks, your host, a Millennial Mortician, and remember, guys, this is a podcast that engraves.